Let's be honest here. First-person shooters are normally not targeted toward kids. Sure, some games like Call of Duty become popular among them, and it's pretty easy to see why, due to the fact that they have a military theme and are easy to pick up and play, along with the fact that they're not as violent as, say, the higher-end M-rated games such as Dead Space 2. But even then, these games are not specifically targeted towards kids, and there are many parents who will refuse to buy their kid an M-rated game. You'll see this a lot. And let's be honest here, game developers and publishers know this. For every kid that can buy a Call of Duty game, there are still a few kids out there who still won't be allowed to play Call of Duty and Battlefield. So, the idea of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare was made. A game which is a third-person shooter for kids, with absolutely nothing offensive whatsoever. And as someone who's played a lot of Battlefield 4, I can safely say this game is Battlefield 4 for kids. And it really shows if you play this game, that this game has a lot from Battlefield 4. From the engine to the gameplay mechanics. So I'm going to start the review of this game, and I'm going to tell you what I think of this. So let's start the review, shall we? Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is a video game, a third-person shooter, based off the popular casual game Plants vs. Zombies. And really, the only thing it has in common is the setting, because this game could be described as Battlefield 4 for kids. The game has two modes, a Horde mode, and a bunch of modes copied from Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty. From a domination mode, to a rush mode, to of course a team deathmatch mode. And both of them are pretty much, well, all these modes are the same. And they're nearly all what's written on the can. From a domination mode to, well, a team deathmatch mode. And really, that's all they are. The same thing you could play in any other first-person shooter. Except, of course, this game is third-person, and, well, it's for kids. And you can tell it's for kids from all the screaming kids on the mic, because this game has open mic by default. And to make matters worse, the game has many of the issues early Battlefield 4 did. For example, the loading and the netcode. The game has long load times, but of course, not only that, but it has lots of netcode issues just like Battlefield 4 does. For example, when you're playing as a class such as the pea shooter and you're trying to shoot, you'll notice that your bullets kind of lag. This happens a lot in the game. And you'll also notice stuff such as rubber banding, which happened a lot in Battlefield 4. It happens in this game too, as this game, from what I can tell, runs off an earlier version of the engine. The game also lacks many features Battlefield 4 has, for example, spotting enemies, and of course text chat, so you have to put up with this broken voice chat. And did I mention that the game, when it tells you it's in push to talk, it really is an open mic? Yes, the game is that buggy. To make matters worse, the plants are vastly overpowered, with their attacks being more close-range attacks, while zombies are mostly designed for long-range attacks. So unlike other first-person shooters where the sides are really balanced, the sides are absolutely different. The graphics of this game, well, I'm gonna say this. The game runs at a better frame rate than BF4 does, but that's probably because there's absolutely nothing going on. The game is running on medium settings on a GTX 260 in this video, as you can clearly see. This is the PC version during the origin, game time, whatever. And the graphics? Well, let's just say they look like what happens when you make a cartoony game off the Frostbite engine. Not too bad, but then again, I really don't think the art style of this game was that good to begin with. Oh, and it does have the glitchy ragdolls of the Frostbite engine too. The game, no matter what mode you play, just isn't that fun at all. And it doesn't matter if you're playing the Horde mode or the generic copies of Battlefield modes. And of course the game's about $30, but this game's really worth about $5. Really, that's all this game is worth. Because you'll play it like a few times and then forget about it unless you're a kid or you're trying to grief kids. Because really, that's the only reason you'd play this game. Other than that, this game is bland and forgettable. Really, it's just not fun. Oh, and a lot of things are from Battlefield 4 too. The game also has a commander mode, but if your ship or whatever gets destroyed, then you can't do it anymore. The game also features a few modes, such as, for example, it has battle packs, but they're called card packs or something like that. I forget, but really, everything in this game is a copy of Battlefield 4, but watered down. And the game's just not fun at all either. Because honestly, you'd be better off playing Battlefield 4 or something better than this game. Because honestly, that's what this game is. A watered down version of Battlefield 4. That feels like TF2, but for kids. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.